What's up, you guys? My name is Steven Fountain, and welcome back to another reaction video. Yes, another reaction video. But before we get started into this video, I want to make two special announcements. Thank you guys so much for 50,000 views. We recently just passed 50,000 views a couple of days ago. We're currently at 51,000. I want to thank you guys so much for that. Second announcement, I see that 99.3 of you guys aren't subscribed. If you guys could go ahead and subscribe, that shows me two things. You like the video, also judging by the 50,000 views, and it's also free. And third, it also helps me produce content like this full time instead of part time. So again, I want to thank you guys so much for that support and the 50,000 views. I know that we're growing slowly but surely. And without further ado, let's get straight into it again. Now, as you guys can see from the picture, this is a before picture of Chrisean. This is an after. And the reason I'm showing before and after is because this Chrisean Rock that we're looking at right now, the athletic one, the one that had morals, standards, and things like that, is very different from this one. This one, the one that's smiling in the mugshot, which is crazy, and I know it's somewhat old, but I understand that this one is the one that did things for clout, money hungry attention, being with someone as bad as Blueface as himself, which is already a bad influence, had a child with him. And I even heard that that man doesn't even believe the child is his. I don't really know much about that, but just getting with Blueface and getting on Baddies, which is a horrible show, which is a whole bunch of show of women fighting other women, tearing each other down, being rude and disrespectful, all for people to see, which is I'm pretty sure it's even script, but to go from this to this is just crazy. And not only that is she hurting herself and hurt herself, she's also hurting her son. And that's what we're going to get into today because I heard a lot of things about it. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard it as well. And I didn't want to make a video about this first, but I just seen the video, right? A clip of it, a small clip of her being on a podcast and saying it. And it just made my blood boil, right? Because I've babysitted children before, from the ages of 1 to 3. I've babysitted children before, and they're usually running out around the place, jumping off, walls and stuff. Just very fun and active, right? But this child of hers, it can't even stand up on its own. It has no stability, at least from Chrisean's words, right? And I know that she talks about the Bible and she's supposed to change and to go into Christianity, which is no problem. God bless. But the problem with that is you put that on yourself. No one told you to smoke with the child. No one told you to drink with the child. You did all of that on your own. You deliberately destroyed your child's life. He may have some sort of deformity or some sort of disability that you yourself caused. And the reason that he may have those is because of you. And he's going to have to live with that for the rest of his life, unfortunately. And it's all because of Chrisean Rock. And I think we're going to let the GOAT, Penguin Zero, elaborate on it. And again, if you guys like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get straight into it.
I got no silly intro for you today. What this lady's done just makes me furious, so I want to yap about it. Chrisean Rock. Maybe you've heard her name, maybe you haven't.
Yeah, I have. I think everyone has. I think it was mainly because of Blueface and the baddie situation, but let him continue.
I'm pretty confident you've at least seen a couple of clips of hers because she has been addicted to social media attention for a...
Definitely social media attention. I'm sorry for pausing somewhat, but definitely social media attention. With the fight with Blueface and the still in the car and the going to jail, just a whole bunch of other stuff. Even the mother getting involved in it. I think Blueface, and I don't even like Blueface, but the thing she's done for clout, I think it's just crazy. Like, I don't even like Blueface. I think he's a terrible role model and a person not to listen to. But even I have to agree with them on this. She had a planned pregnancy. She went to a hospital and planned a pregnancy. I've never seen anyone on God's green earth plan a pregnancy. I know it takes 9 months and, your water breaks and you go through the natural motions of having a child, but planning it on that day to have a child and recording it for views, clicks, likes, and attention, I've never seen that. I feel like that baby was just for clout. I really do. And I know gonna understand that, yeah, she's changed, but she doesn't act like she's changed at all. And we're going to see with this clip today.
While so she constantly pops up on popular streamers' streams to try and leech a little bit of clout for herself. Personally, I've always found her to be like a vibe Dementor on stream, where she just sucks out all the fun and all the life, leaving only misery in its wake. But that's not the biggest deal in the world. There's plenty of people that are, vibe terrorists that just aren't super entertaining to watch. That's not like a crime. But what is a crime, at least should be, is the way that she handled her pregnancy. Chrisean Rock loved to...
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, wasn't she drinking during the pregnancy? And mind you, I didn't, because I know she had like the Chrisean Love show. I've never watched Baddies, but for some odd reason, it was recommended on my page. And I didn't click on it, but I clicked on the TMZ clips of her saying that she wanted to abort the child. Is it too late to get an abortion? Things of that nature. Smoking and drinking with the child. Just a whole bunch of other stuff. And they already tell you, the doctors and stuff, and people, even people who aren't pregnant, would tell you that's bad for the baby. Because your baby is literally connected to you through the umbilical cord. It's inside of your stomach. The fact that she did not care and decided, okay, well, I'm going to do what I want. And that's crazy to me. To smoke and drink, and we don't know what type of, and the baby, in even certain situations, you can die if you drink copious amounts, if you overdo it, which I feel like she did. Thank God the baby didn't die, but still, that baby is going to have some sort of, if not deformity, some sort of disability because of you doing that for 9 months straight.
Party. I say loved like it's past tense. I'm sure she still currently does. But while she was pregnant, she still didn't let that stop her. It wasn't an obstacle. She didn't pump the brakes because she's pregnant.
And you should have stopped, because when I seen the clip, it's like you didn't do anything. You didn't, like, I seen the clip. It's like there's no accountability. You didn't say I shouldn't have smoked and drunk and I should have handled myself better. You didn't say anything. You didn't have no remorse or guilt. And that's the crazy part. Like, that should have been the main thing. And I feel like going on a podcast and talking about it and tweeting out your personal problems, I still feel like that's somewhat clout hungry. Doesn't stop with this person. This is why I feel like she's a horrible person. There was a before Chrisean and there's an after. There's two different types. There was one before where she had morals. This is the one we're seeing now, and I can understand why no one likes her.
She still went hog wild, partying, drinking, and smoking while pregnant.
Absolutely.
And this was shown multiple times on camera, just shamelessly drinking and smoking while pregnant, which everybody knows is really bad for the baby.
Because we all was drinking, even you, with the baby and stuff. Why are you lying?
Nobody's lying. You actually did that. You were caught on camera. Literally caught on camera. There's nobody that has to lie about that. What is this? Literally.
Ladies, one more time.
Belly is big and everything.
Get yourself together.
Where the bottle at?
Oh my gosh. Drink it.
She asked for another bottle. I'm just
You got no liquor?
Yes, I can. I can abort the child tomorrow. It won't hurt.
But this is a person that claimed that she's a Christian and turned over to God. Like, if she is, God bless, but this is not godly. You can abort the baby tomorrow. You do realize that killing your baby or killing in general is a sin in the Bible, right? I'm pretty sure you know that, Chrisean. So-called Christian, though.
No,
He shut the door
you
because
can't
it's
have
cold.
no fucking liquor.
And I understand that people are going to say, oh, this was before. Regardless, yeah, but that's still crazy. You took no accountability for it. And I don't think she's apologized because, if I'm not mistaken, didn't she say she aborted multiple kids with Blueface? Still, I don't know how you even got with them. I don't even know why you would even audition to try to be on his club or his situation. That man does not love you. He has sex with multiple women. He is a horrible person. The last time I seen Blueface was recent, and it was a clip of him getting beat up or getting in a fight, a boxing match with another streamer or some sort of influencer boxing thing. I didn't even watch it, but I just seen it was like it was like highlights. I just scrolled past it. Like, that person, you got with that person, you could have got with any other person. That person, that's crazy. And I heard that he doesn't even like the child. Apparently, he made some sort of diss track claiming the kid is not his. It's just a toxic relationship all around. There's no defending it in any way, shape, or form. That's alcohol at a club, and people are recording her for clown attention. And I think that's Blueface as well. I don't know if this is
when they were here last time, him and Chrisean was pregnant. Y'all were doing all that smoking and drinking here in the thing.
And I wouldn't be surprised if she was doing drugs as well. Like, I've seen pictures of the baby. Like, the eyes are like, one eye is like down, like slouching. And I think I seen another clip of where she was holding the baby like this in a store, and its head was hanging, and I think the baby was crying or whatever. And she turned around because people was like, hold the baby up right. What are you doing? And she was like, you guys mind your business or whatever. It's my baby. I can do what I want. Like, and I hate to say this, but I feel like someone should take that kid away from her. I feel like CPS should come and take that kid away from her. Some sort of foster care should come and take that child away from her because she failed as a mother. You don't deserve to be a mother. You're smoking and drinking with the child. You're not caring, saying that you can abort at any time. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. There's no, like, you don't deserve to be a mother. You already failed as one. Drinking and smoking, which are bad. I can see if you did that after, but you did it while you couldn't control your urges. You couldn't say, you know what, let me detox from this. I have a child. I need to think better and think about the health of my child. You didn't think about that then? A horrible mother.
This is just one short compilation, but a lot of these clips go on longer of her drinking even more. And this is only what's been caught on camera. I can only imagine.
Yeah, he's right. Like, let's say if you did, you could even make the argument or claim that she's even done drugs on camera, behind camera. Maybe coke or whatever. You really don't know because this was only caught on camera. Who knows what went on behind closed doors? It's crazy to think about. That's what I'm saying. She does not need to be in. Chrisean Rock doesn't need to be in a feet of that child and doesn't need to be near that child at all. That child should be taken away because it's only going to get worse. And here's what my personal think is before I continue the video because I'm not going to pause it for any longer. Here's what I think. I think 3 outcomes. I think if she continues to be around that child longer, I feel like she's going to expose that child to drugs and alcohol because in her mind, she's probably going to think, well, I already drunk alcohol and smoked when I was with you. So you want to try some? And, kids are innocent and impressionable. She's going to probably give the child some alcohol and he may become an addict when he's young. If he does get past his stage, right? Which I hope he does. God forbid, I hope he doesn't, get past his stage. And if it does, or if it, or he may end up agreeing with his mother by her, I feel like her manipulation, and obviously she's going to be for it because, he's going to be defending the claims, or he's going to grow a brain and actually think, okay, I shouldn't have been exposed to this. I shouldn't be around you because you are a bad mother. I can only see those 3 outcomes. There's probably a plethora, but we can only hope and see.
How often off camera she was also smoking and drinking. It's fucking terrible. It's not like she didn't know. She even had that clip in there where she's like, it's alright, I can just abort the child, not gonna hurt me.
Yeah. Like I said, if you're a Christian, right, and you claim to be walking in the path of Christ, right, in Christianity, and supposed to be a better person, you do realize God is against killing. Saying that you can get an abortion, and if I'm not mistaken, didn't she have a clip of her going on live? Again, these are TMZ clips. I don't search up Chrisean Rock. I don't like her. I don't listen to her. The same thing with Blueface, right? I feel like it was just a thing. The last time I heard of her before this clip was her going to prison and getting out and saying, oh, I'm with God, right? That's the only time I've heard of her. That's the only time. And I was curious about it, but still, she's not showing anything that's godly at all. You're still going on podcasts. You're still doing clout. And if I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't she have a stream with Ryan Garcia? Why are you like you have no care at all? You're clout hungry. You're like clout is a dangerous drug, and it seems like a lot of people just need their fix every once in a while. It is crazy. I would never put clout and if I was her, I would never put clout over my child, because clout comes and goes. It's like that all the time. Clout comes and goes. But that child is going to be here for 50, 60 years. But we don't even know now. It because of what the actions that you've done. So let me just get into it. This is just making my blood boil, because I've babysitted children before. They're usually jumping all the wall and everything, right? And they're happy, and right? This child can't even apparently, like, it's in like a disabled state where it can't stand up straight. It needs something to hold itself up, which is crazy. I babysit children and toddlers all like that. They're usually around running. They're very energetic for the people who have babysitted, right? And this is just a sad sight to see. This is why she should not be nowhere near that baby. I feel like they should take that baby away and be given to a family who actually loves and respects that child and want the best for it, because she obviously doesn't. And I feel like she's still using it for clout. The fact that you're going on a podcast and talking about it, saying you shouldn't let. I'm gonna get into the clip.
Fucking evil mindset. Like, what? Yeah. She couldn't stop herself from smoking and drinking while pregnant. She did have the child, and this September he will be 3 years old. He still cannot walk or talk, and it seems like also.
Wow, imagine that. Walk and talk. I've babysitted, like I said, I've babysitted multiple children that were 2, 2.5, 3, 4, 5. They're jumping all over the place. Jumping up and down on furniture. I'm pretty sure for anyone who has had a child or videos or whatever, they're very energetic. They want to talk. They want to do this. They're already throwing things, right? This child can't do that. It can't walk. It can't talk. It's at least not saying nothing. You shouldn't be nowhere near that child at all. They should take that child away. They should literally take that child away. You should be nowhere near that. You are unfit to be a mother. You don't deserve to be a mother, because when you were supposed to be a mother during the carrying stages, you put your own interest instead of the child's interest. You probably damaged the child or gave it a whole bunch of disabilities or whatever the case, where it can't even do what it's supposed to do at this age, what all kids do. You don't care about the child. I feel like you mainly had it for clout. You don't deserve to be nowhere near it. End of story.
Also has a hard time just sitting up on his own without assistance supporting him. It is heartbreaking. It is actually heartbreaking. And I don't know why what she's done isn't just full-blown child abuse. Like, I don't know how that's not just a crime.
It should be. They should look at that and be like, okay, well, you didn't take care of this child when you were carrying it, therefore you can't take care of this child now that it's born. It should be given to some people who actually love, respect, and want the best for that child. That child should have a new mother, an actual mother who loves him and respects him. One that actually wants to take care of him. Not putting her own desires and clout before her child. And I feel like that's what you've done. Again, a before and after.
Like, it's all just right out there in the open. Like, it's not a secret. People extremely close to her have just point blank said that she has smoked and drank throughout her pregnancy. They've said it a couple of times. Yeah. It's just so fucking unhinged. And now she just did an interview, and it's the reason why I'm even yapping about it outside of just streams where I've talked about it loosely. She did an interview where she's now denying that her child has a disability and says that, the doctors are wrong, the doctors don't know, which to me says that she's not even willing to get this child the assistance that he is likely going.
I can understand if she didn't smoke, didn't drink, and the doctor said that, her child wasn't going to make it. Her child is I can see if she was doing everything she was supposed to do as a mother. Keyword is doing, right? If she was doing everything, right, she was supposed to do as a mother, right? I can see if she was taking her vitamins, not smoking, not drinking, not exposing her child to harmful things that only an adult should expose himself to, or any adult shouldn't. Well, no adult should do it to general, but, adults choose to do it, sometimes even teenagers, right? Due to peer pressure, whatever the case may be. I can see if she wasn't doing those things, but she did those things, and a doctor is saying, okay, your child has experienced this. Like, if you can search it up, what alcohol does to a child when it's in the womb, it's literally connected to you. A child is not supposed to experience any of that. Beer is harmful to a child. You shouldn't give a child beer. You shouldn't give a child weed. You shouldn't give them cigarettes. It literally messes up their brain, especially in the stages where it can't even walk or talk yet. It has no say whatsoever. And I'm pretty sure she did that multiple times and gave the child copious amounts since it's connected to her.
Going to need going forward.
And if it's anything I could do, help, I'm here. The part that really messed me.
See, like, this is the part I hate because there's no accountability. I seen this clip. It was a clip, like a short, well, a YouTube short. It wasn't like the full video, but it was from the dance. It was the same thing. They have a clip. You can currently see it on YouTube. This is what I'm talking about. That even the thumbnail, Chrisean gets emotional, shut down, lies about her son. No, that's exactly what's happened because you decided, like, even this, going on a podcast and talking about it. He doesn't have Ain't you supposed to be godly? Ain't you supposed to be why are you going on there? Ain't you supposed to self-improve? Usually when you self-improve, it's behind closed doors. You could have said, okay, I've changed this now. You're still going on podcasts and streams with other famous people. Not improving, not focusing on yourself. This is what I'm saying. She does not deserve to be a mother.
Mess for me is that Blueface doesn't seem active in the child's life because of his disability.
And although Blueface is horrible, wasn't there another person that was with Chrisean that she had claimed was with them? And he said, I really want the kid because I want to give the kid a better life. And I think he ended up passing away or dying in some sort of fashion. I think he was killed or murdered. My condolences. But wasn't that person supposed to be, wasn't that person like supposed to be, didn't he claim that was a child, that was his son? Because they had like screenshots and because it didn't look like Blueface's child. It looked like his child. I forgot his name, but if he did pass, like I think his sister talked about it. I don't really know that much information about it, but my condolences. And it looked like his than Blueface's, and the Blueface has already disowned this child, so I don't.
Hold on.
And here's the thing: if you're supposed to change, don't you? If you're supposed to change like you claim you are, why are you with Blueface still? The man has already said he doesn't want the child, doesn't believe the child is his. And he already said you had a planned pregnancy. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he say multiple times that the child is not his? Doesn't care about the child isn't his, the child doesn't look like his? Why?
I feel like that's what triggered me, and my anger overpowered my message. You're in the right now, and I'm here to support and congratulate you overly. So I said my son does not have a disability. He is developing at his own pace and hitting his milestones in his own timing. Every child is different, and I'm confident.
I understand every child is different, but here's the difference, Chrisean. You were the one who literally gave your child this disability by smoking and drinking. Again, I can see if you were doing everything you were supposed to, went to the doctor, and the doctor said that, because the doctor could be wrong in that case, right? There's been multiple cases of that. But you smoke and drink with your child throughout the 9 months, or however many amount of months, because I know there's even premature births, however many months that you were carrying that child. You were smoking and drinking and subjecting that child to harmful things that it shouldn't be subjected to, which is terrible for the baby. And the one thing that really, and the crazy thing that really this whole video affects and this whole situation affects is the child, not Chrisean, because she doesn't care. She's already gotten the clout off it. She's doing podcasts with people who have over 100,000 subscribers. She does not care. There's no remorse in her voice. She's just looking at like, it's crazy.
In his growth. If I said it, he had a disability, then he. Right, but it's like,
don't tell.
Wait, hold on. If you said you had, it's not if you have to say it. You have to understand, a doctor has worked with multiple children, babies. Like, again, I can see if you were doing everything you were supposed to do, but you weren't. And I understand if you're, a Christian now. and a Christian. This is why I don't think she's a Christian, because she's still clout hungry. She said, "Oh, I thought you're not supposed to look. There's alcohol even in the background, and I don't know if it's full or empty. You're on a podcast that's actually supporting that. You have no remorse.
I ain't say none of that.
It doesn't matter if you said it. The doctor that you gave that checked up on the baby said that, because it did a diagnosis of a baby. I'm pretty sure, and said, okay, from what you've done with the baby, this baby is having this. That's the issue. That's what she's not understanding. She's still cloud hungry. It's crazy. It's sick. It's terrible. It only affects the baby. And God bless he goes through this, fam. God bless he gets over this stage. I hope he does.
For context here, she was reading some messages about someone who they had some drama, and this individual said that, the thing that messed them up most was, Blueface not being as active in the child's life.
So somebody was saying this, right? And they were claiming that the child does have a disability, and you're not saying. It doesn't matter what you say. Again, it does not matter what you say, Chrisean. It's about the child. The doctor who has performed and did and who has seen babies, toddlers or whatever, who has brought the baby to get checked up on to make sure their vitals and everything is correct. The fact that your child can't sustain himself at this young of an age is a problem. It doesn't matter what you say. These doctors have worked on babies for years, regardless of race, creed, color, religion, whatever the case may be. It's supposed to be energetic. It's supposed to be talking at least a little bit. It's supposed to move his fingers to some extent. It's not like it's just been born and 6-7 months pass. It's not that. And even that, you weren't taking care of it. Maybe at that time, if you weren't doing what you did, maybe. I don't even know how you're even taking care of it. You don't deserve to be a mother. Simple.
Because of the child's disability. That was the claim that was made there. She then snapped back saying that her son does not have a disability.
It doesn't yeah, and she's saying, well, I didn't say he had a disability, so it doesn't. And then she wants to say, well, I didn't say none of it. It doesn't matter what you say. You took the baby to get a checkup, I'm pretty sure, and he said he has a disability. He does have a disability. Why would the doctor lie? This doctor has done checkups for thousands, hundreds, maybe thousands of babies. And he said, okay, this one is not developing at the pace it should be because the other babies aren't. But okay, well, we're going to run some tests, and okay, well, it seems like it's got all these disabilities. Well, I didn't say that. That's so sad, and you shouldn't be a mother. Someone should take the child away. A person who actually loves and respects and wants the best for that child.
Helping at his own pace. Then, in a minute here, I'll show you the clip where she's...
And again, I understand where if a person upgrades or if a baby or a toddler, does it at his own pace. I understand. There's something called late bloomers and stuff like that. I understand. But in this case, in this case, it's very different. You didn't care for that child at all. You smoke and drunk with it. You smoke and drink copious amounts of weed, liquor, alcohol, probably even cigarettes, which are damaging to the baby, and probably did all types of, drugs and psychedelics or whatever. So it's sad. They should have the child taken away. This is very sad to watch and even hear from the mother. You failed as a mother, Chrisean. You failed as a mother.
Starts making a mention of doctors, how you can't believe a doctor when they're speaking ill on your child, that kind of thing. Now, of course, I'm not a doctor, but for reference, most babies will begin the walking and talking process, getting a word out from 12 up to 18 months. That's when they'll start to hit these milestones. Typically, that's
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I used to babysit before, and for anyone who has babysitted or even seen children, I seen a kid at 3 years old talking, "No, mommy, put that back, mommy," in the Target a while back. I think it was 2 months ago. I went to get some hair products, and he's like, "No, mommy, put it back, mommy." I was like, "How old is he?" "Oh, he's 3.5." I was like, "Oh, hi, child, a baby still." already walking and talking. Your child isn't doing that, and it's because of you. You don't deserve to be a mother due to the fact that you put your child through so much, through harmful things as much. At least when you're a mother, you're supposed to protect that child from those harmful things. You exposed your child to it willingly and saying, I can get an abortion. That's crazy.
Like the normal range. She is right, though. Every child is different, so some take a little bit longer.
Again, I can understand. Yeah, he's right. Again, if this was if this was at a normal pace, right? I understand that, like I said, there's late bloomers and stuff like that, and some childs develop differently. But this is different because you smoke and drink with your child. You expose your child to this harmful thing. So at the time it would have been able to do this, it may take a little longer, or it may not even function really at all. Something may be wrong that is probably irreversible. You can't just be like, you know what? Well, let me just delete this and delete this and delete that. It's not like a video game. You can't do that, unfortunately.
However, it has been over 2 years. It's been, 27 months? And her son still is doing none of that, and also seemingly still having a hard time sitting up on their own, too. That does seem like there may be a disability there, and the fact that she references a doctor speaking ill on her child makes me believe that when a doctor was informing her...
Like a child that's 2, 3, or even above that needs something to help itself stand up, I can see if it was a baby, right? I can see if it was 6, 8 months, or even a year. I can understand that. But it's not a baby no more. It's like from what he said and from what Chrisean said, it's almost 3. And it still can't do any of that. That is a problem. And it's a problem that she caused. And instead of taking accountability for it and saying, yes, this is my problem, and I'm doing everything to make sure that my child can function, if not now, a later date to where he develops these things as every other child does. She's saying, oh, I didn't say that. And I think she's using God as a reference, which is good. God bless, right? But it's bad in this case because you exposed your child to it. I can see if you were doing everything you were supposed to do as a mother and this still happened. Okay, I can understand that, and I think a lot of people would be on her side, but this is different. You did not do that. And I feel like even the child was for clout, which it should not be.
That this might be the result of a disability. She took it as an insult, and that this doctor is just some kind
This is literally satanic, devilish stuff. How you claim to be a Christian. This is literally satanic. The fact that you want to sit up here and say, oh yeah, God said what God said. I seen the clip, but we're going to get into that, hopefully, if he shows it.
of evil demon that's insulting her baby, and now she's like refusing to acknowledge...
The only evil person that is evil, Chrisean, in this sense, is you. You don't deserve to be a child to that. You don't deserve to be a mother to that child at all.
Which I think is just extremely detrimental for the child, because if the child does have a disability, the child is going to need some extra assistance from doctors, from other people.
And the crazy thing is, she didn't say she was getting the child help. She didn't say any of that at all. That's the crazy part. She didn't say, "Oh, I'm going to get the child help. I'm trying to help the child. I'm trying to..." Nothing. Didn't say nothing. No vitamins. No step process to get better. Nothing. Evil person indeed.
And if she's going to deny the child those resources, that's even worse for the kid. Just because she refuses,
which I feel like she has or is already doing,
to say it doesn't mean that it might not be true.
It's not even just that. It's like, say if someone, a doctor, anybody speak against your kid or yourself, then you should not accept it, bro. Yeah, anybody. Yeah. If they're guessing or whatever, no. The word said what the word said. God said what the God says. I don't have to accept what you...
So you're saying word said what the word said, God said what God said. I understand that. If you were doing what you did, if you were doing what a mother should be doing, a loving mother, a mother that wants the best for her child, right? Oh, you shouldn't let anyone speak on your... No. The doctor is doing it because you took the child to get a checkup, and the child has a whole bunch of things that can't stand on its own. And I'm pretty sure if you were to see these clips of you drinking and smoking, he would say, this is probably a major reason why. And I'm pretty sure they probably asked that question or probably seen clips of it, and she got mad and stormed out with the baby. I'm pretty sure. So there's no accountability in this clip. No, like, it's crazy.
Really like me, like protecting a revelation that I heard from the Lord over my son.
Okay, I can understand that, but here's the thing. You already destroyed that when you decided to drink. God didn't say drink when you're pregnant, smoke when you're pregnant. This is if you didn't do any of that. There's a difference.
Yeah.
And then it's like redirecting that energy back to that mouth, that tongue, that powerful tongue. Who said I had it? Who said it?
Who said I had it? You mean who said the child had it? You mean who said I? You don't have to say nothing, Chrisean. They just have to do they just have to look at the baby and do a checkup on it and see what's going on the outside and on the inside. And if the child's not responding or doing what he's supposed to do, then that's a problem. A major problem that you caused. This is crazy.
Now, recently, Chrisean Rock made a big Christianity push where she's accepting the word of God and taking the Lord as her
Which I don't believe, but let's continue. I feel like it's for clout, just like every other thing that has been for clout.
savior, which I always applaud people for doing if it's coming from a genuine place. Unfortunately, in the modern day, there are some absolute vile people that use Christianity.
And this is what, yes, that use Christianity as, okay, I didn't do like the Bonnie Blue situation, the OnlyFans girl with the red hair. I feel like they just go to God, but they show themselves getting baptized, but they're still doing these same acts, but in the name of the Lord. That's what I don't understand. And it's like, okay, let's say but why did it take all of that stuff that you were doing to be like, yeah, I want to go to the God? Why? I think the Brittany Renner situation, she was Muslim, then she was Islamic, and then I don't even know what she is now. It was all a facade, and she proved it too.
As like this get out of jail card where it's, used as a tool to avoid any level of accountability and responsibility.
Pure blasphemy, but I feel like they do it for a public image.
They're like, nope, I'm completely clean, so all of the terrible, heinous actions I've done in my past no longer exist, and you can't use them against me in any way, shape, or form because now I'm a Christian, so, we have to forget about all of that, and you're a bad person if you bring them up now. And I really hate that mentality. And I hate to say it, but I do get that same sense from Chrisean Rock, where she's using it as a way.
I think it's safe to say that not only you, but everyone gets that, because she's not a good person. She is a bad person. She exposed her child to alcohol and weed and smoking. She did not care for the child, says she wanted to get an abortion. All these bad, terrible things. She is a horrible person by far.
Way of just being like, hey, you all have to forgive me for all of this shit that I've done. And a lot of it you've watched, especially like with the pregnancy. And I don't think I've seen her take any level of like self-reflection or accountability for the terrible fucking way that she handled her pregnancy with the smoking and drinking and the impact that it may have had on her child's life. Like, speaking of the word of God, Chrisean, what do you think God would say to something like this?
Get yourself together.
Where the bottle at? Yeah.
Exactly. God wouldn't defend this in any way, shape, or form. He'd actually call it out.
Oh my God.
And he would tell people that walk with him to call this out. So-called Christian, right, Chrisean?
Drink it.
She asked for another bottle. I'm just
So you can't liquor?
Yes, I can. I can abort the child tomorrow.
Abort the child tomorrow? Again, abortion is killing. I mean,
It won't hurt me.
No,
He shut the door
you
'cause it's
can't.
clear as day.
Complete callousness, uncaring if the baby lives or dies, even saying that she would get an abortion and it wouldn't affect her. There's also another clip where she's 20 weeks pregnant, talking to a doctor and asks if it's too late to get an abortion. It seems like she's solely driven by her own self-interest. She didn't want to stop partying and drinking and smoking. And so she didn't, even while pregnant. And unless I've missed it, she's never talked about this or made any kind of big, like, huge apology.
Thing saying, I'm done drinking or whatever. None. And so this is where I'm going to end the video, you guys. The video is way too long. This is where I'm going to end it. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Again, thank you for 50,000 views, and please consider subscribing, as this does help the channel. But this is very sad because she does not care about this child in any way, shape, or form, and it is just, this is just a bad sight to see. And I really do hope that someone takes this child away from her and gives it a life that it deserves if it develops fully. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.